This is Psychology in Film
by Michael DeStacy.
and Grant Curington.
We're doing our project over Hisoka. Hisoka is a character in the Hunter x Hunter anime series. He's a creepy clown obsessed with our two main characters, two extremely powerful young men exploring the world. His origin is not ever told, and when it is, it's always lied about. We see Hisoka in a lot of places. The first, in the Hunter Trials, which is where people compete to get their hunter's license, which essentially opens up the world for all our characters. The next is Heaven's Arena, a battle royale tower where people show off their strength to get money and prizes. This is also where Nen, the magical power, is introduced, thanks to Hisoka. We see him lastly in York New City, which is he poses as a member of the Phantom Troop, a team of criminals, but he only does this so that he may battle their leader.
Who is extremely powerful. Hunter x Hunter is based in a fictional world that somewhat resembles the world we live in today, and although they have slightly less technological advancement, they also have powers of a fantasy style. Um, Hisoka has antisocial personality disorder. More specifically, he's a psychopath.
So a psychopath is when someone does not are not able to establish true relationships with people. They like you can't feel love or anything. The only relationships they do have is to attain a goal.
In Hunter x Hunter, he's likely not going to get a very good diagnosis. As a performer, he's not going to be taken extremely seriously and will likely be treated as an eccentric or an oddball. Now, if we really take it into perspective, it's more likely that Hisoka kills his therapist for somehow insinuating something that offends him.
Because of what Grant just said, we have to take this in our world situation. Hisoka is a clown and therefore a circus performer. In Furl's article published this year, he says that circus performers are under a lot of stress and anxiety as they have long practices of them working by themselves to do one thing. This leads them to a lot of social disorders, which we will see Hisoka has.
The symptoms exhibited by Hisoka are classic of all of the antisocial psychopathy symptoms described in the DSM-5. The main two that he exhibits are antagonism and disinhibition. Now, the primary antagonistic characteristic that he exhibits is hostility. He's very quick to aggression and very easily offended. He's killed proctors of the Hunter exams purely because he didn't think they were powerful, and he's killed people for as little as bumping into him. He's also extremely deceitful, which falls under the antagonism class, and it is the entirety of his fighting style. He also lied to the Phantom Troop about being a part of them, and all of them believed him. He's very good at deceit. Now, the other primary characteristic is disinhibition, and on a smaller scale, he also has risk taking, which is a part of disinhibition. He actively chooses to fight the most powerful people he has an opportunity to, and shown on this page, he allowed his arm to be cut off just so that he could use his powers more effectively.
There's some other stuff in here which you're free to read, but just going off what Grant said, uh, an article published by Ogloff states that the number one thing that people with antisocial personality disorder have is the ability to mask or like their personality and what their true intentions are, which he did with the Phantom Troop.
He shows off great superficial charm and also has no remorse for his actions. Now, the symptom that there's the least evidence for is a struggle with intimacy. Now, the only reason that this is our weakest symptom is that there's never really an opportunity shown of an intimate situation with Hisoka involved. Now, the treatment plan that we have for his antisocial psychopathy is to combine cognitive behavioral therapy and dosages of lithium and risperidone, which is an antipsychotic. Now, even though cognitive behavioral therapy has proven relatively ineffective, we have no issues letting Hisoka do it because the combination of lithium and risperidone would probably make him less impulsive and more receptive to cognitive behavioral therapy.
So there are no real problems with CBT in our world and Hunter x Hunter world. That's fine. It's magical. They do crazy stuff all the time. Hisoka also really wouldn't care about it. The only real problem is that he's not in a great place to do it right now. He is on a mythical adventure, and so there's kind of not an opportunity for him to get any sort of treatment.
We'll probably just prescribe him the dosages of medication and hope they make him less impulsive. Now, Hunter x Hunter does a really good job portraying antisocial personality disorder because it shows off his lack of remorse throughout the entire show. There's not a single time that he feels bad about anything he's done. The only issue is that he never faces any consequences for his actions, and so you lose a little bit of the realism. Now, the way this has helped our understanding is by providing an example for what antisocials would do if they were in a world where they had no repercussions. In reality, they probably do have a sense of pride for the terrible actions they commit and believe they're justified in what they do. Thank you so much for your
Pleasure
time,
presentation. This was Michael.
and Grant.